Hey everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Jurassic World Cinematics. Before we begin today's episode, I would like to ask you to please also take a look at my gaming review YouTube channel called Konoha Reviews. You can find the link to that channel in the description down below. I do reviews of both old and new games, and you can even request some reviews, including of course, dinosaur games. In fact, I have a review of the game Jurassic Park Trespasser already filmed and coming out soon. So please take a look at my channel Konoha Reviews, and if you like what you see, then please subscribe, as it helps me out a lot. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of the episode. The dinosaur park lay quiet and peaceful within the hot sun. Over the past weeks, a lot has changed on the island with the emerging of the boulevard and the first animal pens. The creatures themselves had really come to like their homes and were visibly pleased. The mixed pen that held Iguanodon, Oviraptors, and Compies was bustling as always, yet it did not work on the nerves of the slower and sluggish dinosaurs like the Iguanodon. The Dimetrodon enjoyed a nice day in their drinking pool to cool down in the hot sun. It was a nice summer day, and everyone was enjoying the good weather. By the evening, it was time to initiate the next plans for the park. Some money payers wanted another carnivore, and this time a lot bigger. But for the next pen, a lot of space was issued to the point where it could benefit another herd of dinosaurs. Therefore, several scientists pleaded for this to have priority, and this was indeed greenlit. The pen next to that would be a bit smaller, but still large enough for a medium type of predator to roam around in. And the price fell on the Stegosaurus for the herd animal. This herbivore was different enough from the ones currently in the park and had a whole unique demeanor to its own. The Stegosaurus was a gentle giant that was slow and calm. It had some defensive measures, including the spikes on its tail and the blades on its back providing some protection amongst other functions, but the dinosaur was wide open in its sides. When a predator would attack a Stegosaurus, it would have a big chance to just bite away at it, as its tail swings were very deadly but inaccurate. Therefore, the Stegosaurus also depended on the herd mentality and was almost never alone. Therefore, 5 Stegosaurus were brought over to the park. The procedure to get them into the park lasted all throughout the night until the break of dawn. Then transporting these giants to the new pen would also be quite the endeavor. They were heavy and easy targets, so putting them to sleep was not a big problem. But their size and weight made it to where the pilots had to fly very carefully. But everything went flawless, and well into the morning, the dinosaurs could finally enjoy their new home and the comfort of their own small herd. As expected, there was a bit of panic in the beginning. There was lots of open space for the dinosaurs to graze or walk around in, but nevertheless, it was all alien to them. Many of them sprinted away, but the fact that they were in this together made them calm down quite quickly. It did not take long before the Stegosaurus let their guard down and assembled at the drinking spot to quench their thirst after all that short distance running. The new additions to the park were wonderful. The pen was set up to where there wasn't too much forest area. Because of that, you were always guaranteed as a guest to get a good glimpse of these magnificent creatures. The drinking spot and feeding spot were put on opposite sides near the fence to emphasize this even more. Then it was time for the next attraction. For the next dinosaur, it would finally be the park's first larger carnivore. There were many options: Allosaurus, Spinosaurus, a T-Rex, but those were all the more recognizable names and real ticket sellers, and putting those so soon along the guest trail would be a waste. Therefore, a different dinosaur was chosen, and one that would surely raise many an eyebrow because of its exotic look. The next dinosaur in the park would be the Concavenator. This medium-sized predator had a beautiful color pattern, with longer arms which it could use to catch small prey, and muscled legs that it could use to traverse distance in a short period of time. But its most distinct feature were its set of fins near its hip that even could be seen along its bone structure. Scientists had different opinions on the function of this, as some believed it was merely for attracting another mate or recognizing one's own, though there were also those who believed it could be used to regulate one's temperature. For this pen, there would be a pair of concavenators, a female and a male, so that no rivalry would arise in the field. It was the talk of the town, and the rangers that went in to sedate them were warned to keep their distance. The Concavenator was big enough and strong enough to do some real damage to the vehicle. Surely this new dinosaur would bring in more guests to see such a display. The transportation of the new predators happened during the day, so that the press could make good progress of it and provide the public at the mainlands with great footage. When the two dinosaurs had set foot in their new home, things seemed to go well at first. They seemed a bit uneasy, but it was the same uneasiness of how a kitten behaves when she is first taken to her new home. They seemed to get along very well together, which was great news. They seemed to find some calmness in drinking side by side at the well, their spot to give some tranquility. But more so than the other animals in the park, they headed around the pen perimeter and scanned the fence itself. They were more aware of others, that freedom, in a way, was taken from them, that they were put in a cage. It must have been their hunting instinct, the instinct that made them wander and search for the next prey. Scientists believe that this soon would fly over, and they would completely adhere to their new living space if they marked it as their own territory. The scanning of the perimeters did result in some great views for anyone on the public trail. But they certainly also displayed some forms of stress, even hissing and making threats to one another. It would take time for these dinosaurs to get accustomed, and some believed it would be better to not pair up the bigger carnivores in the future. But their addition to the park certainly also did not go unnoticed in the other pens. The Iguanodon showcased some mild stress, and even in the Stegosaurus pen, all of the herbivores cluttered up at the feeding place, which was the furthest from the carnivore pen. Everyone hoped that in due time, things would have calmed down and the park's next large predator could get its welcome.